Hello everyone. Today I will introduce the value orchestration capability of the IBM Garage Experience platform. We will start with strategy and go all the way down to product backlog definition and execution. We will leverage generative AI at every step to accelerate our process in an intelligent manner. Value is our key focus, so we will make sure everything we do has quantifiable value associated with it. We already covered project management, so the next practice that we're going to cover is value orchestration. So this is what we're going to do. We can access it from these tabs here, or we can go to the left nav navigation and access value orchestration. First thing we're going to do is we're going to create a strategic initiative. And for this, we're going to leverage generative AI. Let's ask it to generate 3 strategic initiatives that are focused on insurance industry and offering life insurance for graduate hires. To help it a little bit, we're going to give it a little bit more context. So I'm going to get some more emphasis information around the insights around this kind of problem. So on average, we see around 20 to 30% of graduate hire buying life insurance, and probably 5 to 10% of that do it after they graduate. So interesting graduate hires in insurance and life insurance is a challenge that we want to address. So let's see what would generative AI come up with as strategic initiatives we would leverage to, or we want to establish to start focusing on addressing this kind of challenge. So it came up with 3 as I requested. The first one is how might we make it easy for graduate hires to purchase life insurance so that we can increase the percentage of recent graduate hires with life insurance coverage. We'll be successful when 25% of graduate hires purchase life insurance within the first year of employment. Another one is about personalized life insurance education. How might we provide relevant and timely life insurance education for graduate hires so that we can empower graduate hires to make informed decisions about life insurance? Will be successful when 80% of graduate hires report feeling confident in buying and understanding of life insurance options. And the last one is streamlined life insurance enrollment. How might we simplify the insurance enrollment process to graduate hires so that we can reduce the time and effort required to graduate hires to enroll in life insurance? Will be successful when average enrollment time decreases by 50%. So let's pick the first 2, the education and simplifying the process of buying life insurance. So now once we pick these 2, let's focus on the life insurance onboarding for graduate hires. And here what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask the AI to generate a value tree for me. I'm going to change some of the parameters of the value tree. And this time I'm not going to give it any emphasis. Let's see what the AI generates. This usually runs in the background. And while it's running, let's understand what are the different elements of a value tree and why do we need it. As we have identified a strategic initiative that we want to achieve for the organization in the next 2 to 3 years, that strategic initiative has to generate value for the business. So it's very important that we understand where is that value going to come from. That's why we have what we call value pools. The value pools tell you which area where this value come from growth, like increasing market share, getting more users buying life insurance, is going to happen from reduction of cost of operation, efficiencies, things like that. Is going to happen through brand recognition, or is going to happen through reducing risk. So all of these will be different value pools that we will have. Once we've identified the value pool, then we get to a value driver, and this breaks it down even further. So if we're going to grow, how we're going to grow that through increasing market share, through gaining more markets, through opening new markets, things like that. And then once we define the value driver, then we go to a lever that will allow us to achieve that. So let's look at what the AI came up with. So here is what it came up with. It came up with three value pools: user experience, operational efficiency, and cost and growth. User experience, it says that we can do that through streamlined onboarding processes or personalized customer engagement. And to achieve streamlined onboarding processes, we can do it by simplifying application forms, and we can measure our success to an average time to complete application. If we're going to do that through personalized customer engagement, we can achieve that through target communication strategy, and we can measure that by customer satisfaction rating. If we go to operational efficiency, we have automated underwriting processes that will straight through processing, will streamline the process, cut down the time, underwriting cycle time reduction in manual intervention through rule-based decision making. Manual intervention rate will be how we can measure success. And then the last one is around growth, increasing conversion rates, real-time policy insurance, conversion rate for application to policy will be increased, and expand customer base by digital channel integration, number of new customer acquisitions. So you can see all of these are very good. And for example, if I don't like any of these, I can actually go and remove it. If I also want to add additional ones, I can also create new value drivers with Generative AI, or add more value pools, and so on. So with that, let's focus on the onboarding, streamlining the onboarding process. So we're going to do that through simplifying the application forms. So we'll pick this one and try to see. I did a focus to just focus on this branch, but I can also go ahead and generate the pain point with AI. So let's go ahead and create 3 pain points. And let's see what it generates. Again, you have that emphasis field where you can add additional information. If that information is not publicly available, it will use that as part of the generation. Usually we wouldn't do pain point identification using AI. We would do what we call design research, which is qualitative or quantitative ways of capturing these pain points by conducting surveys or doing interviews. And then we develop observations. From these observations, we create problem hypotheses, and then we validate these problem hypotheses to come up with the pain points. But here we're shortcutting all of that and leveraging the wealth of information that's in a large language model to come up with some of these common pain points that have experienced by other companies. So here we have overwhelming application process. We believe that credit hires feel frustrated when filling out lengthy and complex life insurance application forms. We know this is true when low percentage of recent credit hires with life insurance coverage. Lack of clarity in application requirement. We believe that credit hires feel confused when trying to understand what is required to complete the life insurance application. We know this is true when delays purchasing life insurance first of year of employment. Time-consuming application submission. We believe that credit hires feel impatient when waiting for application to be processed and approved. We know this is true when low conversion rates for credit hires purchasing life insurance. So actually, all of them are very good. So we'll pick them all. But let's focus on one: overwhelming application processes. And we're gonna create. We're gonna ask it to generate some recommendation for solutions. So again, here we wouldn't do that in a typical garage. We will run what we call an envisioning workshop. In that envisioning workshop, we will ideate and we'll cluster these ideas together and then prioritize them. And then the ones that have the highest priority will be transformed into what we call solution hypothesis. And then we would prototype these solution hypotheses, test them with our sponsor users. And then once we have confirmed them, then we have our program epic. But again, here we're shortcutting the entire process with generative AI. So here it came up with 3 recommendations for solutions: streamline application processes. We believe that simplified and guided life insurance application experience will result in increased adoption and completion rates for life insurance application among recent graduate hires. We know we have succeeded when 30% increase in life insurance coverage among recent graduate hires within next 6 months. Intelligent form automation, AI-powered life insurance application forms that autofill and suggest answer will result in reduce. So I like this one. And provide insurance guidance. This one will be based on um, giving advice and education resources specific to the person apply for insurance. Again, let's pick them all, but we'll pick one to progress. And I like the middle one. Um, so let's focus on that so we can simplify the whole tree up to this point. So what we will do right now is we'll ask it to create features. And for this, we'll leverage AI again. So basically, we're taking this program epic that we've defined, and we're going to break down what are all the features that make up this solution that we're proposing. For that, we require what platform does the client use right now for their data. So for example, they might be using Salesforce Cloud. They might be using Salesforce Einstein. And there could be other solutions that they could be using to help with that. For example, let's introduce Watson X, since this will be AI driven. And let's leverage some of our large language model. Like for example, let's put the Llama 3, 70 billion large. So here it leveraged some of the technology that I gave it. AI-powered technology, so that answer for questions based on user AI-driven insights, integrate with Salesforce Cloud, leverage customer data, utilize natural language processing capabilities of the Llama 3 language model to analyze, understand, interact with analytics support. So you can see it did create some features based on some of the information I gave it in the platforms. So let's take this one, integrate with Salesforce data, and what I'm going to ask it to do right now is to create the user story for me. So I'll go ahead and select my project. Now generating my story, autofill application form. As a recent graduate hire, I want to have my application form autofilled with customer data from Salesforce Sales Cloud so that I can quickly and easily complete my life insurance application. So accept this one. And now you can see it here. I can also go back into my my project management component, open my local instance, and I can look at my backlog. That user story is in my backlog, so I'll put it to my next iteration. Now I open my iteration, I'll find it, and then I can assign it to somebody. I can edit it, and now I can change more details, like for example, the story points, target date, completion date, dependencies, and other user stories. Not only that, I'm also able to generate subtasks. So here I'm going to ask it to generate 4 or 5 subtasks. And it asks me about technology. I'll take Salesforce. I'll take Watson X. Again, all of these are just recommendation by AI. So when we generate something, we need to validate it. And if we don't like it, we can accept it and customize it. So here it says integrate with Salesforce with application form, design autofill logic, implement Watson integration, develop form mapping, test autofill functionality. So it's very, very complete actually, if I would say. And you can see all of that in the view of the user story as a Kanban board where every task can be manipulated independently. You can progress it, you can assign the effort, the time, everything. All the details that you want to set can be set on that specific task. So here, effort, I'll say 1 hour. Then you can calculate the total effort and so on and track progress, same way you do for anything. So let's go back to our value tree. Another thing we want to do is we want to estimate the value of doing this opportunity in intelligent form automation, which allows me to um, automatically fill the forms as much as possible. So to do that, we need to estimate the value of doing this. One way to do that is once we select the right tree, we're going to be able to edit the pain point that is relevant. And this is the pain point for addressing all the challenges with filling the form. So here, reduction of effort filling forms. And let's say the value of that is a calculation of different things. Number of customer, maybe percentage of number of customers multiplied by time spent multiplied by cost somehow. So let's say if we calculate this formula, we will say, let's say it's going to save the business about $5 million. So if I apply that, that 5 million is going to go into my tree and progress all the way back up to the strategic initiative. I can also come to that specific program epic that I created and specify how much of that is addressable by this solution. So let's say this automated form filling is going to address 50% of the challenge or the pain. So I can make this 50, save it. And now you can see the tree has both a projected value for the opportunity and a projected value for the program epic. Later on, when we define a business opportunity around the program epic, we will do another way to do the value estimation. We have a value statement model that we can use for that. But this is just a rough estimation. And you can see here's how is the value going to progress. There is another view for the value tree, which is the breakdown of value. You don't see much here because we only have one branch of value. But if I go here and estimate other values for these, let's say this one will be 10 million. And this one will be 20 million. And when I see my sun key chart is going to be broken down for each one of these. As I add more details, this chart will be more streamlined as I assess other branches in the trees as well. So this is only one branch, that's why it all shows it together. But if I create other pain point for other branches of the tree, then this chart will make much more sense. Another capability that you will be able to do is once we create the business opportunity. So So I'll create a business opportunity quickly just to demonstrate that. Here, when I create a business opportunity, it tells me which one of these of program epics I want to address. So here we say intelligent form automation. And by specifying that, now if I go back to my value tree, and I can use the filters here, I can unselect feature and user story. When I select these two, now I'm able to see my business opportunity. Apply filter, and then you will see that this program epic is associated to this business opportunity. The value of the business opportunity is calculated within the business opportunity. So when we get to that module, we'll see how we do that. I hope that this demonstration gave you a good overview of the value orchestration practice and how it relates to other practices in IBM Garage, such as design research, product backlog definition, value estimation, and return on investment tracking. Please share your feedback on this topic and feel free to leave comments or questions if you need more clarification. I'll be happy to address them.